beautiful women actually pay you $200 a piece to sleep with them?
Just take your clothes off.
My lip is caught in the zipper.
I don't believe
Wait, oh.
All right, so today I have a crazy trip down memory lane for you. We are headed to the forbidden VHS aisles. You know, the ones you weren't supposed to browse as a kid. And I'm not talking about horror this time, but I am talking about some crazy, raunchy, over-the-top, wild 1980s comedies that were louder, wilder, and way more chaotic than people remember, and a lot of them didn't become legends in theaters. They became legends late night, on cable, Skinamax, in VHS that you passed around in secret. So tonight, we are going to dive into 10 wild 80s comedies you may have never even seen, with surprising big cast appearances, early roles for future stars, and plenty of late night boundary-pushing energy. And to keep things official, this time we're going to give every movie a 1 to 5 VHS tape rating for pure 80s raunch factor and wild good times. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so for number 10, we're going to kick this thing off the right way that has some crazy cameos from some big stars. It's 1985's Fraternity Vacation. Plot-wise, this one is exactly what the title promises it will be. Two socially awkward freshmen decide the best way to survive spring break is to pretend they're part of a prestigious fraternity and tag along with a group to legendary Fort Lauderdale. From there, it's beach parties, rival frat guys, mistaken identities, and escalating schemes to keep their lie from falling apart. What's fun today, though, is spotting appearances early on from faces like Tim Robbins in this movie. Or you even have the legendary Barbara Crampton in this film. Top off and all. Now, this wasn't a major theatrical hit. You're actually going to find some Fright Night alumni in this thing too. But on VHS, this one became sort of a go-to weekend friends rental. And that's why it's here, because it's pure like college comedy discovery energy. And it is a lot of fun, and it has the raunch factor, not at the highest end. I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5 VHS tapes. Rowdy, but partly relatively light compared to what's coming on this list. So maybe it's only 3 out of 5 by comparison. Now, number 9 takes us all the way back to 1982, early 80s for Homework. And talk about cast in this one. Homework follows a high school student stuck in summer school who becomes determined to turn a boring break into something far more interesting. The plot revolves around attempts to impress a crush, dodge authority figures, and survive the chaos of teen life. You've got him peeping through at the girls in the locker room. You got all that kind of stuff. But you also have Joan Collins in this movie, playing kind of a Mrs. Robinson seductory role, and she goes nude in this film, I believe at age 50 or 51, and it was pretty legendary at the time because it was used to promote the film. It's one of those early 80s teen comedies that feels very much like it was made for the drive-in and then truly lived on VHS and cable. You'll notice a handful of recognizable people in this, actors popping up, obviously Joan Collins in here, but you'll get some of those, oh yeah, that guy moments in here. That's why it's on here. It's a deep shelf VHS discovery that perfectly kind of encapsulates the 80s, early 80s teen comedy tone. The raunch factor in this one, more goofy than outrageous. I'm going to give it about 2 out of 5. But if you're a big Joan Collins fan, you will pop this one up a little bit higher. Homework comes in at number 9. Now, number 8 stays in 1982, but it cranks up the raunch factor just a little bit in here, and that is Beach Girls. Now, there's a lot of beach comedies. It's ripe for that kind of thing. But the plot is simple and very, very 80s. You got three young women who decide to take over a Malibu beach house for the summer and turn it into a party headquarters. If this sounds familiar to some of you who are younger, think American Pie Part 2, but in reverse. That's what you really have here. Soon, though, they're dealing with overwhelming beach crowds because they're beautiful women. It's not that hard to get a party. It's harder to control it. And they've got local troublemakers and a steady stream of ridiculous situations. I'm telling you, it's like the early 80s female version of American Pie Part 2. But produced by Roger Corman. So that'll tell you where you're going. This movie was built for maximum entertainment on a low budget, my kind of thing. That made it perfect for VHS, cable reruns, late night watches, sunny, chaotic, a very much throw it on with your friends kind of movie. And that's why it's here. It's quintessential summer chaos comedy, a VHS late night staple. As far as the raunch factor, I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5 VHS tapes. You could maybe push this to 5. Four is being generous. Again, comparing to what's coming, classic late night cable energy here. Beach Girls had to be on the list. Now, if Beach Girls was a 4, 4.5, you could argue 5. There is no question about this next one. It's 1984's Hollywood Hot Tubs. This one plays more like a series of almost like connected sketches around an apartment complex where every resident in the place seems to be involved in some kind of over-the-top situation. There's not a strict narrative when you're watching this so much as a collage of comedic setups, I guess, with escalating levels of absurdity and nudity. The cast includes a variety of familiar 80s TV and B-movie actors and actresses, and that's part of the fun. Spotting faces you recognize, even if you don't know their names, you know them from other things. This movie exists almost entirely because of VHS and cable TV. That's what made it a legend. That's why it's here. It's like that peak, I found this on the shelf at midnight kind of thing and watched it, and my eyes got this big at everything I saw in it. Full late night chaos, 5 out of 5 VHS tapes when it comes to raunch factor and absolute wild fun factor. Hollywood Hot Tubs comes in at number 7. Now, number 6 is another one that I have never talked about on the channel before. And it's funny because I remember watching this several times on an old VHS. And I'm not going to say where I found that VHS, but it's not really, it's not a 5 out of 5, but Basic Training from 1985. This is like one of those military things. I mean, if you think kind of Stripes, but with women in the military, all that kind of stuff. But it kind of weaves in, even in a military situation, sort of strict instructors and they got to navigate politics and stuff like that. And they've got their personal rivalries and you know, they're using their wiles to get what they want kind of a situation. But like many 80s comedies in the mid 80s, particularly early 80s, it found its audience through VHS. Those mom and pop video rental stores. I don't think this movie gets out there without it. It's a sort of an under the radar type film. Check it out. The poster alone, I'll see if I can put it up here if I can find it, will kind of sell you on it. That was the same as the VHS cover art. As far as the raunch factor, it's right in the middle. More than Stripes. Okay, if you're familiar with Stripes, but not as much as Hollywood Hot Tubs. So I'm going to give this thing a 3 out of 5 VHSs. It's actually a legit good movie, fun movie to watch. You're not just watching it for the eye candy. There's a little more to it than that. And for that reason, Basic Training comes in on our list. Now, number 5 is a legit cult classic, and that is Valley Girl. Listen, the plot in this one, you got to know this. This stars Nicolas Cage early on. The plot centers on a valley girl named Julie who falls for Randy. I always thought it was funny. He's Randy, all right. A Hollywood punk played by a young Nicolas Cage. And their relationship sparks some tension in social circles. It leads to a Romeo and Juliet style romance in here. You have a young E.G. Daily in this movie too. It's set against the LA music scene. Very, very 80s. And it does have the TNA and all that stuff, but it is more heartfelt than a lot of the entries on this list. And it still carries that 80s teen push the boundaries vibe, and a cast stacked with early appearances from actors and actresses who would go on to have much bigger careers. It's here because it sort of bridges the gap between Lost on VHS and late night cable to mainstream success and longevity. Now, the raunch factor on this one, I'm going to give 2 out of 5. You got E.G. Daily. There's definitely some scenes, all that. Nothing is over the top in any way. It's more charming than wild. Valley Girl, just a good movie. It comes in at number 5 on this list. Now, at number 4 is one that's still kind of lost, I believe, on an old DVD, maybe an out-of-print Blu-ray. You could maybe get this on VHS like I have. We're waiting on this thing to be updated because of the star power in this movie, and it is just a good movie. It's 1989's Loverboy. This stars Patrick Dempsey, among many other big names in here, and he is a college student who takes a job delivering pizzas and quickly becomes the most requested delivery driver in town. Order the anchovies. His popularity grows. He gets pulled into increasingly complicated situations balancing work, school, and personal relationships. And when I say personal relationships, there is a particular reason that he is so highly requested. He basically is the little Don Juan of pizza delivery guys, and every woman in the general area wants a turn with him. The supporting cast in this one includes Kirstie Alley. You got Carrie Fisher in here, and she's giving the movie, like, there's a surprising amount of star power. You're going to see a lot of other people you recognize, too. It played constantly on cable, became familiar on VHS, and that's why it's here. It's like 80s time capsule with a stacked cast. It's just a good, fun movie. Even the pizza delivery feels very 80s. It's playful and suggestive without going full over the top chaos, but it is very, very suggestive even when it's not completely overt. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 VHSs. Loverboy comes in at number 4. Ooh, at number 3, we're going to turn up the heat just a little bit with 1984's Blame It on Rio. This one follows 2 middle-aged friends who take their daughters on vacation to Rio de Janeiro, only for relationships and complications to spiral, and into comic territory. It stars Michael Caine and Joseph Bologna, but it also has Demi Moore in this film and some other actresses who you'll recognize. I don't want to say too much here because there's some conjecture about this film. It's definitely culture clash humor. There is a surprising amount of skin in this movie. Let's just say it like that. It had a theatrical run, but because of that and because of being able to rewind and check and all that kind of stuff and the names involved, it became very, very popular on VHS and cable. Seeing Michael Caine in this type of comedy, Demi Moore in there, all the extra skin, all that stuff just kind of combines to make it memorable. You're like, man, all this happened in one 80s movie. Yes, it did. Blame It on Rio, a movie that definitely, I'm just going to say, pushed boundaries at the time and any time. So when you're talking raunch factor on this one, it's not really delivered in that way, but there's plenty of stuff in here to look at. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 VHSs. One that is more eyebrow raising amongst the entries on this list. Blame It on Rio comes in at number 3. Now at number 2 is one that you may not know exists, at least this version. It is Johnny Be Good, the R-rated version. This story follows a high school football player, a star played by Michael Anthony Hall, who is dealing with very aggressive college recruiters, media attention, girls throwing themselves at him, and the pressure of choosing where to play college football. The cast includes Anthony Michael Hall, like I said, Robert Downey Jr., Uma Thurman, and it actually says in introducing Uma Thurman at the beginning of the film, all at different points early on in their careers. But the theatrical version of this thing was PG-13. There were some VHS versions that were PG-13. There were other cuts that were R-rated. There were also R-rated versions that played on late night cable. This made it a curiosity among movie collectors because there is quite a bit more of the skin, the raunch factor, the over-the-top chaos in the R-rated version, a whole lot more. And because of the alternate VHS cuts, and that kind of added to the rental era fun. And I just love this movie as a football player. It's ridiculous, over-the-top fun. But because of those added scenes, I promise you, I'm going to give this thing a 4 out of 5 VHSs on that crazy factor. A noticeable step up from the theatrical. Johnny B. Good comes in at number 2. And at number 1 is one that I've talked about here a long time ago on the channel. I cannot, for the life of me, believe that this movie in 2026 is still stuck on VHS. It never had a DVD, a Blu-ray, certainly not a 4K. I am talking about 1986's Hamburger, the motion picture. This movie is A++, crazy, raunchy, over the top, ridiculous, chaos, fun. The plot centers on a group of trainees attending what was a real fast food place, but a fast food training university, competing for jobs and survival in a completely ridiculous environment. When I say ridiculous environment, I'm talking about getting put inside of giant, metal pickles and having hot sauce poured on you and stuff like that. It's packed with over-the-top characters, absurd and chaotic scenarios. I point to the often worn-out spot in this VHS tape where they were eating under the table. Some eating under the table was going on. I'm just going to say that. But this one, it's got some cult film regulars, and then it has some surprise faces like the football player Dick Butkus is in this movie. It is absolutely crazy. This movie didn't need to be a massive theatrical success. It became a rental store legend. Worn out spots all over this tape, certain ones in particular, and late night cable helped put it over the top. That's why it's here. It is peak, late night 80s forbidden VHS oddity that is just so fun to watch. Now, 5 out of 5 VHSs here on Raunch Factor. This thing is maximum chaos, 80s style. Hamburger, the motion picture, comes in at number 1. The 80s were wild, man. It was a great time to be there. Video stores were even wilder. Late night cable TV and cable TV show hosts, even wilder. HBO, Cinemax, late night. And there's an entire shelf of comedies that lived just outside the mainstream. The ones you discovered on late night cable or rented because the cover made you curious or it caught your eye for other reasons, let's be honest. So now I want to know, what wild 80s comedies did you first discover on VHS, late night cable, that were kind of forbidden? Drop it in the comments, because if there's enough interest, I will definitely do part 2. I promise to bring back my fun comedies, raunchy comedies lists, and here we are. And if you love deep cut 80s movies, classic movies, video store nostalgia, holiday nostalgia, deep dive video essays, all that kind of stuff, looks at filmmaking, all of that kind of stuff, you are in the right place, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this, Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you want to support the video store here a little more at AVA Pop Culture, you can join my Patreon. The link is always below. You'll get your name and lights on every video, behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only videos, physical media deep dives and 4K reviews, so much more, all right here for you. And at AVA Pop Culture, I am here trying to bring you an awesome video every single day because I love movies and I love sharing them with you. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.